Hey there, language adventurers. Welcome back to Tales for Talking. Today we're tackling something we've all struggled with: procrastination, that sneaky habit of putting things off until tomorrow, or next week, or maybe never. Let me start with a quick story. Last month, I had this report due for work. Nothing complicated, just needed a few hours to complete. But instead of just sitting down and doing it, I found myself reorganizing my bookshelf, watching just one episode of a show, which turned into four, and even cleaning the refrigerator. Suddenly it was midnight, the report wasn't done, and I was exhausted. Sound familiar? So, what exactly is procrastination? It's not just being lazy, it's actually the act of delaying important tasks despite knowing there will be negative consequences. Let me explain that more simply. Procrastination happens when we choose to do easy or fun things instead of important work, even though we know this will cause problems later. I use the phrase sound familiar, which is a way of asking if you've had similar experiences to what I've described. Let me ask you, what's something you've been procrastinating on recently? Take a moment to think about it and pause the audio if you'd like. Welcome back. Maybe you thought about studying for an exam, starting an exercise routine, or having a difficult conversation. Whatever it is, today's strategies might help you finally tackle it. The first strategy I want to share is called the 5-minute rule. This technique involves committing to work on a task for just 5 minutes. That's it. After 5 minutes, you can decide whether to continue or stop. In simpler terms, tell yourself you'll work on something for only 5 minutes. The hardest part is starting, and this makes starting very easy. Often you'll want to continue once you've begun. I use the phrase committing to, which means making a firm decision to do something. Here's a question: how might the 5-minute rule help overcome procrastination? Pause to think about your answer. Great to have you back. You might have said that the 5-minute rule makes tasks less overwhelming, tricks your brain into getting started, or helps build momentum. All excellent points. The second strategy is breaking it down. Many times we procrastinate because a task seems too big or complicated. Dividing it into smaller, manageable steps makes it less intimidating. To explain simply, big tasks can feel scary. Cut them into small pieces. Instead of write essay, try steps like choose topic, find 3 sources, write introduction, and so on. Small steps feel easier to start. I use the phrase less intimidating, which means less frightening or overwhelming. Let me ask you, think about something you've been putting off. How could you break it down into smaller steps? Pause to consider this. Welcome back. Perhaps you thought about breaking down Learn English into daily 15-minute practice sessions, or Get in Shape into specific exercises you could do 3 times a week. Breaking tasks down makes them accessible. Our third strategy is understanding your why. When you connect a task to your deeper values and goals, you'll find more motivation to complete it. In simpler words, know why a task matters to you personally. If you're studying English, remind yourself how it will help you travel, get a better job, or connect with new people. This makes the work more meaningful. I use the expression deeper values, which refers to the principles and priorities that are most important to you. Here's a question. How might connecting tasks to your personal goals help you overcome procrastination? Take a moment to think about this. Glad you're back. You might have mentioned that understanding your why provides emotional fuel, helps you persist through difficulties, or keeps you focused on long-term benefits rather than short-term discomfort. The fourth strategy is removing distractions. This involves creating an environment that supports focus rather than tempting you away from your task. To explain more simply, make it harder to get distracted. Put your phone in another room, block social media websites, or find a quiet place to work. Make the right thing easier to do than the wrong thing. I use the phrase tempting you away, which means attracting your attention to something else. Let me ask you, what are your biggest distractions and how could you minimize them? Pause to reflect on this. Welcome back. Perhaps you identified your phone, certain websites, television, or even other people as your main distractions. Strategies might include using website blockers, setting specific do not disturb hours, or finding a different workspace. Our fifth technique is the Pomodoro Technique. This involves working in focused bursts of 25 minutes, followed by 5-minute breaks. After 4 cycles, you take a longer break of 15, 30 minutes. In simpler terms, work hard for 25 minutes, then rest for 5 minutes. Repeat this pattern 4 times, then take a longer break. This helps you stay focused and prevents burnout. I use the word bursts, which refers to short, intense periods of activity. Here's a question. How might working in timed intervals help combat procrastination? Pause to consider your answer. Great to have you back. You might have said that timed intervals make work feel more manageable, provide natural stopping points, create a sense of urgency, or help maintain energy through regular breaks. All valuable insights. The sixth strategy is reward yourself. Creating small rewards for completing tasks gives your brain positive reinforcement and helps build momentum. To explain simply, give yourself treats for finishing work. After completing your English homework, watch an episode of your favorite show or enjoy a snack you love. This teaches your brain that finishing tasks feels good. I use the phrase positive reinforcement, which refers to rewarding behavior to encourage it to continue. Let me ask you, what small rewards might motivate you to complete tasks you've been avoiding? Pause to think about this. Welcome back. Maybe you thought about rewards like taking a walk outside, calling a friend, enjoying a special food, or spending time on a hobby. Effective rewards are usually things you genuinely enjoy but can control the timing of. The seventh technique is accountability partners. Sharing your goals with someone else who will check in on your progress can significantly increase your follow-through. In simpler words, tell a friend about what you plan to do and when. Ask them to check if you've done it. Knowing someone else expects you to complete something makes you more likely to do it. I use the phrase follow through, which means completing something you've started or promised to do. Here's a question. How might having an accountability partner help you overcome procrastination? Pause to reflect on this. Glad you're back. You might have mentioned that accountability partners provide external motivation, make you feel responsible to someone else, offer encouragement when you're struggling, or celebrate successes with you. Our eighth strategy is visualizing the process, not just the outcome. Instead of only imagining how great it will feel to be finished, visualize yourself actually doing the work. To explain more simply, don't just imagine being done with your task. Imagine yourself doing each step. Picture yourself sitting down, opening your book, and studying English for 30 minutes. This mental rehearsal makes starting easier. I use the phrase mental rehearsal, which means practicing something in your mind before actually doing it. Let me ask you, how might visualizing the process of doing a task help with procrastination? Take a moment to consider this. Welcome back. Perhaps you realize that process visualization helps you identify potential obstacles, creates a mental blueprint for action, reduces anxiety about starting, or builds confidence in your ability to complete the task. The ninth technique is the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately rather than putting it off. In simpler terms, if a task is very quick, under 2 minutes, don't add it to your to-do list. Just do it now. Responding to a simple email, putting away your clothes, or washing a dish might take longer to plan than to actually do. I use the phrase putting it off, which means delaying or postponing something. Here's a question. What small tasks have you been postponing that could actually be completed in under 2 minutes? Pause to think about some examples. Great to have you back. You might have thought about quick tasks like sending a brief reply to a message, making a short phone call, scheduling an appointment, or filing away a document. Handling these tiny tasks immediately prevents them from piling up. Our 10th and final strategy is forgive yourself and start fresh. Research shows that self-forgiveness for previous procrastination actually helps reduce future procrastination. To explain simply, don't be too hard on yourself when you procrastinate. Feeling guilty often makes procrastination worse. Instead, forgive yourself and focus on doing better next time. Everyone struggles with this sometimes. I use the phrase, be too hard on yourself, which means to criticize yourself excessively or be overly self-critical. Let me ask you, how might forgiving yourself for past procrastination help you be more productive in the future? Pause to reflect on this. Welcome back. You might have mentioned that self-forgiveness reduces negative emotions that drain your energy, helps you focus on solutions rather than problems, builds resilience for future challenges, or creates a healthier relationship with productivity overall. So, there you have it. 10 practical strategies to help you overcome procrastination. Remember, the goal isn't to become perfect, but to gradually improve your ability to take action when it matters. Even implementing just one or two of these techniques can make a significant difference in your productivity and reduce the stress that comes from putting things off. Which of these strategies do you think might work best for you? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And remember, the best time to start changing your procrastination habits isn't tomorrow, it's right now. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep taking action. This is Tales for Talking, signing off.